She was my favorite when I was a kid. Now I see she's the most beautiful thing I ever saw.
These are dilated.
They
Take
are?
a look. It's okay.
I'll be damned.
It's pharmacological and local plant life. Is this West Indian lilac?
Yes. We know they're toxic, but the animals don't eat them.
There's only one way to be positive. I'd have to see the dinosaurs dropping.
Dino... dropping? Dropping?
That is one big pile of shit.
Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! Up you wake, up you wake, up you wake, up you wake!
I guess what everyone is sort of expecting from me at this point is to give a brutal, vitriolic takedown of this stupid, mind-numbing movie. And that's what this movie is. Mind-numbing. When I left the theater, I didn't really know what to think. I wasn't confused as to whether or not I liked it, because I didn't like it. But for a while, I didn't understand why I hated it. I felt like I received the cinematic equivalent of a brain freeze. A brain fart, to be more accurate. Once the effects of this headache-inducing brain fart subsided, I began to recognize why I thought this movie was terrible. But I don't really have the passion to take charge and direct the video like I normally do, which is surprising to me because it's the fourth sequel to the first film I remember seeing in my life. It's just plain bad, and if you like Jurassic Park 5, then I'm worried to say the least. And yes, I'm calling it Jurassic Park 5, because that's what it is. Universal may be afraid to use the number 5 and sell you on this verbose title, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, but it's Jurassic Park 5.
This cliche condescending cash grab is smartly directed towards stupid movie-going audiences, and it is slowly ruining everything that the original Jurassic Park film did to become one of the most influential films of all time to other Hollywood blockbusters and to my personal life in general. Let me explain. Back when I was a wee boy, I was shown the original Jurassic Park for the first time. It was the movie that made me want to become a director, and it was the movie that made me love movies. Until 2008, when a certain film was released, it was my favorite movie of all time. I even remember in second grade when I wrote a letter to Steven Spielberg telling him how much I loved his film, and thanking him for the influence he had on my life. The film, of course, was a huge success, and changed the industry forever, so of course, sequels were made. The Lost World and even Jurassic Park 3, although fucking ridiculous, they still held the same magic that the first film had. They weren't life-changing event films, but they were both somewhat passable for what they were. 14 years later, during my sophomore year of college, Jurassic World was released. I wasn't too excited for this movie, but I was a little hyped at the time. My favorite childhood franchise coming back with updated effects and a budget that was through the roof? I was so ready. When I left the theater, I couldn't believe what they had done. They basically destroyed any hope of a Jurassic sequel being anywhere near as good as the original film.
But Glenn, it's different. This movie is for a new generation of Jurassic audiences. It's supposed to be different, and there's no way that a new iteration can be better than the original.
Literally go fuck yourself. Before we start telling you why this movie is awful, I want to state just a few things from it that I didn't think were the worst. In the beginning of the film, there is a bit of foreshadowing in which Eli Mills tells Claire that they have an island for the dinosaurs, where they will be able to roam free. I think he specifically says, "We have an island, no cages, no barriers, just the way nature intended." This is a great parallel to the end of the film, in which the dinosaurs that were taken off the island are set free in the US to go wherever they want, and whenever they want. The setup for an inevitable sequel is clear, and I would like to see where the writers go with this, but I know whatever they do, it's going to be stupid as shit. During the scene on the boat on the way to the mainland, the T-Rex looked really good right before it woke up. It looked like a real freaking T-Rex, and I wish that they used more practical effects. I also really liked the first time we saw Blue, the raptor, in the cage tied up. Blue looked incredibly real until we got to the wide shot of her tail. The realistic aesthetic went away as soon as I saw that, and I remember that this is a fake creature and I don't care about it at all. I also thought that the continuous shot in the film was well done, besides the background being completely fake, of course. The little girl's acting was alright at times. Sometimes it felt like she was changing her accent from an American accent to a British accent, but she was able to cry on cue, and 98% of films with children do not ever work, but this movie child does work. A lot of what we see in the movie has taken place in Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, or Jurassic World. What can I mean by this? Well, here. Let me list them off for you. Do you remember? Literally all of this bullshit is in Jurassic Park 5. You have fucking seen this before and the filmmakers expect you not to notice it. This film is basically a cartoon, and not a good cartoon either. Moments that are set up to try to be serious can't really be considered serious because they have the intelligence of a footy pajama, bowl of Captain Crunch eaten Saturday morning cartoon. And after seeing some of the meta and self-aware cartoons that come on in the Saturday mornings, it is kind of an insult to compare them to this dense film. For example, the film starts off and you already know exactly how it's going to play out. You know that the underwater people will be eaten by the Mosasaurus. You know the guy getting chased by the T-Rex will escape the T-Rex and get eaten by the Mosasaurus. It's stupid. The guy running from the T-Rex looks incredibly surprised and scared when he first sees it. But you are on an island infested with dinosaurs. What the hell did you expect? Who wrote this? 1 second, I'm gonna go look. Ugh. We can tell right off the bat that this man in a suit, Eli Mills, is going to be the bad guy. How can we tell? Because we've seen a film before. They tried to make it a surprise and do a reveal shot of him on the phone later in the film, but it is so ridiculous. Ugh.
In what world would anyone think it would be a great idea to copy the most forgettable entry in the Jurassic Park franchise and soft remake it? Say what you want about Jurassic Park 3, but at least it has memorable moments, like most of the scenes and sequences with the Spinosaurus and the pterodactyl cage sequence, and the ringtone of the satellite phone is memorable for Christ's sake. And let's not forget...
Dr. Grant?
Jurassic Park 5 is only memorable because I remember the things it blatantly copies from The Lost World. In Jurassic Park 5, we meet the apparent best friend of John Hammond, a man who helped him make Jurassic Park a reality, but also a man who we've never met at any point in this series, and I'd be very surprised if he's mentioned at all before this film. But the only reason he exists is because we needed a John Hammond-like character, who is an old rich, white man with a white beard who is bedridden in his mansion and gives his day-to-day operations to a greedy young businessman who ends up going to the island to take the dinosaurs for his own personal gain, instead of what the rich old man he's representing wants. What J.A. Bayona, Colin Trevorrow, is it Trevorrow or Trevorrow? I'm gonna say Trevorrow. What J.A. Bayona, Colin Trevorrow, and Derek Connolly failed to understand about what made John Hammond in The Lost World tragic is because we had the previous film to compare his character from, how energized, ambitious, and youthful he was in Jurassic Park, to how sick and desperate he is in The Lost World. The sick part is obvious because of the IV poles lined up next to his bed, but his desperation is found in the acting and characterization. Richard Attenborough makes this acting choice to be out of breath after most sentences and most physical actions. He's desperate to make up for the mistakes he made in the first film while he still has time, and time is something that he knows he doesn't have a lot of. It's tragic. And the behavioral change in this film, compared to the last film, makes it necessary. The interview he gives at the end of this movie notwithstanding, this scene is the last time we see him in the series. Ian Malcolm leaves the scene camera right, symbolizing his need to move forward, and Hammond walks away camera left, symbolizing his regret and his desperation to rewrite what he did wrong in the past. Jurassic Park 5 has none of that emotional weight. James Cromwell's character is there just because Richard Attenborough did more or less the same thing 21 years ago, and it's not his fault. He's only the actor, and the actor only has so much influence on the direction of a film. His character is literally there to explain how the rescue operation could be funded, and to die when the movie needs him to. Speaking of Ian Malcolm, yeah, I know that was a pretty smooth transition. They get Jeff Goldblum to come back for this one scene that is inexplicably split in half and shown in the beginning and the end of the movie, which serves as borderline narration. Like, you know those lazy animated films that start the film off with narration like once upon a time there lived a blah blah blah, and the narration never returned until the end where they say ... and they lived happily ever after. And the narrator has no impact on the story at all, but instead is used as a framing device because the filmmakers didn't know how to start or end the movie in a creative way. Well, that's how J.A. Bayona, Colin Trevorrow, and Derek Connolly used Jeff Goldblum's character in this movie. They insert him in the beginning and the end just because he was in the previous films. And all he does is say things he's been saying since 1993, and his philosophy doesn't change one iota. So what's the point of putting him in the movie if we learn nothing new? Besides being lazy or being greedy and cashing in on cheap nostalgia points for your advertising campaign, I don't understand this choice at all.
Chris Pratt's character Owen is literally introduced being the manliest manly man on Earth. as he's first seen building a house with his bare hands. What in the name of Cartoon Network is this character introduction? Justice Smith and Danielle Pineda as Franklin and Zia are just the worst. Whether it be having a weird tiger exchange with the Colonel, or weirdly putting on a shitload of bug spray, or being a grown man and screeching like a prepubescent boy, both characters come off as annoying as possible.
Everyone in this movie is either playing themselves or a stereotype. Remember how in the first movie everyone was intelligent on some level? The little boy was well-read and inquisitive. His sister was a hacker. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler were expert paleontologists. Ian Malcolm was a chaotician. Even Dennis Nedry, the only guy with no redeemable qualities, was intelligent to a certain extent. And John Hammond was also intelligent. He was a doctor, made his own fortune, and curated the right team to bring dinosaurs back from extinction. Sure, he was the opposing viewpoint for the film's thesis, but the film never presents him as an idiot. In Jurassic Park 5, every character isn't smart, really, and all the characters who would be classified as smart are either presented as wimps or evil, maniacal, mad scientists. Why is the series that started with celebrating intelligence punishing the intelligent characters?
Let's discuss Blue for a second, as I feel this is one of the major characters in the film. Okay, see, the Velociraptor has always been my favorite dinosaur in the Jurassic films. It is a clever, ferocious beast. It has always been portrayed as a violent force of nature that nobody in their right mind would try to go up against. Until the release of Jurassic World, where we saw them watered down and turned into fucking pets. I thought it couldn't get any worse from that. There was no way that this new franchise could bastardize my favorite dinosaur any further. Then I saw this film, and the Velociraptor fucking cried. What in the absolute fuck were these people thinking? Taking the most feared predator in literally all of fucking history and giving it a sense of compassion, and placing tears coming down its eyes was literally the moment during the film in which I thought death would be more comforting than life. A Russian mobster audibly screams, 20 millions at the auction, and it reminded me of literal mobsters in like a Batman cartoon or something. The Indoraptor was literally smiling at the audience when the Colonel was trying to get his teeth. He might as well have been twirling his evil "I'm a villain" mustache, because this is a cartoon. We learn towards the end that the little girl is a shadow clone jutsu from Naruto, and now we can see that they have incorporated Japanese cartoons in this film for some reason. Everything in this film looks like a goddamn video game. Why should I care about any of this? The CGI stampede at the end reminds me of the stampede in Jumanji when Monkey Boy is in the car. Look how fake these animals look. But they look more realistic than these fucking dinosaurs, though. The music in this film is so goddamn awful. Remember every orchestral composition ever? That is literally the score throughout. One point in the film when I fucking died from laughing so hard was when the dinosaurs finally got to the spooky horror house. Listen to the music that they used for this scene.
We are so evil, goddamn evil. We are so evil, evilest men of them all.
I can't freaking believe we went from one of the most iconic film scores of all time to this awful rendition of evil bad guys doing evil bad guy things.
Maybe Jurassic Park 4 and 5 are incompetent in its foundation to reflect society today. Or maybe it's an accident by the incompetent team behind this new soon-to-be trilogy. I'm 100% going with the latter. Why are we making these dumb films for kids to grow up with and form their young minds? I know it's a PG-13 movie, but there were rows of children and preteens in my theater eating this up. Not to be one of those old people who are like, back in my day, blah blah blah, but back in my day, I had Jurassic Park, which was about progress versus regression. The Land Before Time, which dealt with grief and how to move on from that. Toy Story, which dealt with how to deal with change and how it's not easy. The Iron Giant, which dealt with what it means to be a human being. Love, death, and guns. And Contact, which is a film that came out around the same period, but I didn't discover until I was an adult, was about the debate between God and science. And it's a film I sincerely wish was in my rotation when I was a kid. These films make you think. They don't tell you what to think. They don't say one way is right and the other is wrong, and they certainly don't present nonsensical ideas to debate in the first place like Jurassic Park 5 does. And I'm 100% certain there were films coming out around when I was a kid that are just as dumb as Jurassic Park 5. Will Smith's Shark Tale is a shining example, but films like that from that period don't endure the test of time like films I just mentioned. And considering the amount of money the last 2 Jurassic Park films made, I'm seriously worried that all the kids that were exposed to it are gonna make these films endure, which they shouldn't. Why is Steven Spielberg letting Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly creatively incinerate the saga he created? His friend Kathleen Kennedy sure knew what was gonna happen to Star Wars if Trevorrow had his hands on it. It's basically if David Fincher executive produced a soft reboot of Fight Club, and the director he hired only focused on the bro, dark, and edgy parts that frat guys took away from Fight Club, and not the comedy-laden criticism of that bro and edgy masculine culture and the men that aspire to be that Fight Club actually is. Did Spielberg pick Trevorrow and Connolly as a sick joke to show how good Jurassic Park is in comparison and have people love it more as a result? Or does he genuinely think these ideas are good? Raptors used for the military? Are you kidding me? In a world post-drones, why is that even a question? We have drones. The first sequence in the film has a drone in it. I don't even know what more I could possibly say about this movie. I'm done. I can't wait for the 3rd movie to give me an aneurysm, and I don't even think this is the best representation of J.A. Bayona as a director either. Go watch The Impossible instead. It has characters, good performances, it makes you feel something. It's literally the exact opposite of Jurassic Park 5. The visual effects department not completely phoning it in is the only reason why this isn't a 1 out of 10. So I'm giving Jurassic Park 5 a 2 out of 10.
As a lifelong Jurassic fan, and someone who used to be inspired by these films, this film looks at me directly in the face and just laughs. This film does nothing. It asks the same questions as literally every Jurassic film. That is, should humans mess with dinosaurs and expect different results than past endeavors? And expects to get different results, even though they are doing the exact same fucking thing they have already done. It is a complete waste of time to do something the same and expect a different outcome. Maybe this review opened your eyes a little and made you see the dog dookie that is being presented on screen. I am glad I didn't pay for this, and I probably won't pay for the next one either. Of course, I am obligated to see it because that's just who I am, but I am not looking forward to having my childhood destroyed for the 3rd time in 7 years. Only time will tell, I guess. The magic is gone. I'm giving Jurassic Park 5 a 2 out of 10.